Hi, I'm Roger Whittier. I'm a FAA-certified A&P IA. I'm also the Dean of the COPA University College of Advanced Technology. Today we're going to talk about MCUs. Here we have an MCU 120. MCU stands for Master Control Unit. And some people might think it's a mystery control unit because it gives us trouble in figuring out what's wrong with it. I'm going to step through the basic components of the MCU 120, which is going to be in all of the G1s and G2s except for the latter part that have a glove compartment. As you look at it across here, there is a large printed circuit board. There's a number of connectors down this side that connect to everything electronic, the battery, the starter motor, the alternator one, so on and so forth. They come in through these bolts, and you can see as you come through here, there's a current sensor, and these frequently can give us trouble. This current sensor has a Hall effect sensor right here, and it detects current. If this thing goes bad, you're likely to see an Alt2 or an Alt1 light come on and stay on, despite the fact that it's producing voltage. We have three of those in this MCU, one here, one here, one here. One is on the battery, one is on alternator 1, one is on alternator 2. This big box that you see here is called a logic unit and a logic module, and it's used to illuminate the annunciation panel. So it will send signals out when it thinks voltage is low, oil pressure is low, or things like that. We have these gray things that are right here, and little known fact on this MCU is these are circuit breakers. And you think that all the circuit breakers you have are by your right calf, but they are not. There is these ones, and some of these actually feed the main buses. Some of these do other things like your landing light. If the circuit breaker has blown, there's a little black button over here that you probably can't see that the pen is touching, but if that black button comes out about 3/8 of an inch, this circuit breaker has been tripped, and you're not going to get power to whatever circuit it provides to. In addition, there are other features in this. You can see right here there's a fuse with a 40 amp rating on it. There's another fuse that should be here which is removed so you can see what it looks like, but they are removable and they can be replaced. There's several right here. That's the largest one at 125 amps, so it's a pretty large current rating that can go through this MCU. You have the auxiliary plug-in unit right here. This is when you take the cover off the cowl on the left side in front of the pilot that allows you to put ground power to the unit. And there are behind here multiple solenoids. These solenoids can give us grief as well, but when you turn on bat 1 and you hear a clunk, what you are hearing is this solenoid activating. The two contacts are coming together, and that clunk is that is going active. There is also a starter solenoid and another solenoid, that this one right here, that turns on this alt circuit, alternate aux unit circuit. There are several other things that can be problematic in this. One of them is this particular harness right here. That wire right there is the one that feeds the field current to the Alt2. If you leave the Alt2 on a lot at idle, this thing tends to overtemp, and when it does, you'll get burning on this wire, on this connector, and on the pin that's on the board. There are other things to point out here which are hard to see. These three screws that are right here are the diode. And so the diode keeps power from crossing between the buses. Alt1, bat 1 can feed Alt2. Alt2, bat 2 cannot feed the things that are on Alt1, bat 1 circuits. And that's what this diode here is what provides that. And finally, there are some behind here, some field control units, FCUs, and those are also known as regulators, voltage regulators for our alternators, and they are all of these things are inside this MCU. So the MCU on all Cirrus aircraft is installed on the firewall, and it's very low on the left side, pilot side of the airplane. Basically, it's right in front of the pilot's feet. That allows this to be at that access door that you see on the left side of the cowling. On this particular model, the wires come out the bottom, and then feed up to the top, and you can see these connectors. And these connectors go to various items on the airplane. Alternators provide power to different buses and the sort. Some of the harnesses can be actually replaced. This harness, when it does, if it does fail, is sold by Cirrus. This is the J111 harness, and you basically have to take it apart, hook it up, run it through the backside, bring it down through this, and back up to here. And when you do that, then you've repaired it. Speaking of repairs for the MCU, there's quite a bit that's repairable. The typical Cirrus service center is inclined to replace it. And it's really not a bad option, frankly. It's expensive. This particular kind of MCU runs around $4,000 plus. But one of the nice things about it, of course, is that it's got all new solenoids in it, and it's been tested. It also has a 1-year warranty, so that may be of consideration for some. I'm inclined on many of these things, if we know what the failure mode is, to actually replace the offending component. And if you can do that successfully, it can save not only a lot of money, but you know you otherwise have an otherwise good MCU, perhaps with a problem. For example, if your alternator 2 light is coming on and staying on in flight, yet the voltage is 28 volts on the bus, the only way that can be happening is if the alternator is still working. And you're getting an erroneous signal. It's this box that causes that problem. This box, if you disassemble it correctly, you're going to take off these nuts over here. You're going to pull this out because the bolt has to come out to get past this Hall effect sensor. There are a couple of pins that actually go into the printed circuit board, so you take out this screw, and then you lift this out, and you can drop a new one in. And these things can be bought from Cirrus for, I don't know, $250 or so. So it's a relatively inexpensive repair and often fixes the stuck on Alt 2, or in this case Alt 1, or maybe the battery light. If the solenoids are bad, these can also be replaced. This is a White Rogers 24-volt solenoid, can be bought in the commercial marketplace, and they're under $100. They're about $70 a piece. There's 2 of those. And then the starter solenoid is an ST93 bought at Napa. It's exactly the same starter motor or starter solenoid as you would get inside the new box. The problem with replacing them is they are back here, and you can see there's wires attached to the printed circuit board and attached to them. So to replace any of these solenoids is a little bit like major surgery. A guy that knows what they're doing, a mechanic that knows what they're doing, can do it pretty well. You're going to have to take out all these bolts coming through here. You're going to have to take out the mounting screws. And then you're ultimately going to get to where, and these sockets as well, you're ultimately going to lift the printed circuit board out of the place, lay it up sideways so that you can remove these solenoids and put them in. Of course, you had to remove these nuts as well. So if you know what you're doing, and you have this off the airplane, which is just removing these 4 mounting bolts and unplugging these connectors and taking off these connectors, you can disassemble this on the bench. Again, not owner maintenance, certainly not an owner should be doing that, but under the supervision of an A&P or an A&P, if they're rigorous about how they take it apart very carefully and reassemble it, these things can be replaced out in the field and save a considerable amount of money. And if they're the only problem you're having with the MCU, that may be an effective way to fix it. Okay, so that's the high-level overview of the master control unit. There are multiple versions, MCU 100, MCU 120. They use the same insides, it's a different case, no differences otherwise. When you get into some of the newer aircraft, the DAU-equipped Avidyne airplanes, they had MCU 130s. And a lot of this stuff went away and were replaced by fuses and some other technologies. And then later Perspective airplanes went into the MCU 140. So they do the same things, but they're not interchangeable. In the airplane, of course, they're going to have a cover over them. They're probably going to have some red silicone sealant around it to try to keep water from getting into it. Water ingress is bad for electronics. Where they're bolted to the firewall, there's usually some red silicone as well to try to seal the firewall. Take good care of your MCU and it'll take good care of you. Hopefully this give you a much better idea of what they are, how they work, and hopefully some tips that you might be able to work with your mechanic should you have MCU problems or weird electrical gremlins. Thanks for watching. I'm Roger Whittier. I hope that helped. I hope to see you soon on the forums, or better yet, at a future CPPP.